shit, this is horrible.
Just don't make it.
Okay, so what is cracking, y'all? It's Devil Hunter 02K back
Copier.
here. What?
Copier.
Shit, I said that wrong too. Fuck. Sorry. What's cracking, YouTube? It's Devil Hunter 02K here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a reaction to Deep Web horror. Shut the fuck up. JB is Beast 3 here. No, fuck. I can't call you that now, can I?
Yeah, you can.
But you ain't got YouTube, so what's the fucking point?
Yes. I have a YouTube channel, I just don't make YouTube videos anymore.
Whatever.
Not
But yeah.
for a while.
Anyways, JB is Beast 3 is here.
Some motherfucker.
Yeah, as you can see that there's new lighting. It's because I'm watching this at fucking
Night.
10, 12 at night. Like a fucking idiot. But, yeah, hopefully, oh yeah, in a few days I'm going to be getting a new intro. It's going to be all colorful, special like. But, yeah, let's get my hat up. Let's get into this shit. I don't know how to fucking do this.
Number 1.
Marijuana?
This story happened
No,
to my
not
friend just
marijuana.
1 week ago. For those who don't know, the deep web is pretty much the internet that isn't indexed by search engines like Yahoo, Google, Bing, etc. It can only be accessed by special software such as Tor. He would often buy stolen Apple products, drugs, etc. Until about a week or two ago, he was buying some cocaine. It wasn't from the seller he normally buys from, though. But it was really cheap, so he gave the seller his address and the fake email he used so they could stay in contact until the deal was done. He wasn't too worried. This guy seemed professional, and it was the same procedure for most of his purchases. My friend told him to ship in a movie case or something so that his mom wouldn't expect to have drugs in. This was probably his biggest mistake. He let the man know he was just a teenager, but my friend isn't the most careful of people anyway. A few days later, his mom walks into the house and hands my friend a movie that he had ordered online. He took it and opened it up, but inside there wasn't any cocaine, just a piece of folded up paper. He opened it and read, "There has been a problem. Email me for details." At the bottom, the man had left a new email for my friend to contact. My friend got on his email and asked the guy what the problem was. He responded, "Something has happened. If I were to send it to you, it could be traced back to me, and we would both be caught. Meet me at the elementary school at 7. We will just do it in person." The school wasn't too far away,
man.
and he headed off to meet the man.
Don't fucking do it, dude. It's fucking #1 rule of fucking horror
Why do you call
stories.
it that?
Huh?
I was like half watching that.
What?
That Grenoble shit.
It was on the background and they probably couldn't hear me.
Whatever.
And you were half watching it. You see the keyword there? But, yeah. Y'all like my real tree hat?
No.
Shut your bitch ass up, yuppie. Real tree, man. Yeet. Freaking yee. But, yeah. My happy ass needs to get sponsored.
No, you don't.
Or make some fucking merchandise.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Do you know
Not
why?
as popular. You have to be more popular to make fucking merchandise.
Then I want to be sponsored.
There's no fucking point in making merchandise when you have, what, 12 subscribers?
15.
Same fucking thing.
I don't care, man. I need money. Fucking balls.
Yeah, you get like 20 cents.
You guys saw nothing. Fuck. They just saw me scratching my balls on YouTube, man.
And
Let's get into this.
He called me and asked if I could be there with him, but I was really busy with my schoolwork, so I said I couldn't. I did tell him to take a knife or something though, just in case things went wrong. When he got to the parking lot outside the school, he heard a car honking its horn. He saw it was a Jeep.
Y'all can still
the
see
plate
me,
had been
right?
covered up by duct
Okay.
tape, and the windows were tinted very dark. The man got out of his car and gave my friend the drugs, and my friend paid him. It seemed like everything was fine. My friend got in his car and sat there a bit in order to call and tell me everything went fine. He noticed when he had hung up that the man was still there though. Why was he waiting? He didn't think too much of it and drove off. When he got to the first red light, he noticed that the man's car was right behind him. He was starting to get a little nervous, but kept driving. When he reached his neighborhood, the man was still following him, so he decided it would be a bad idea to lead him to his house. He instead turned into the next neighborhood and took a whole bunch of random turns, hoping to lose the man. Eventually, he no longer saw the car, and so he pulled the car into his garage and called it a day. That night, he noticed the sound of a car engine. He looked out his window and saw the man's car, parked in his driveway. He got wide-eyed and snuck downstairs and peered through the window. Inside the car, the man was smoking a cigarette and talking on the phone. But in the passenger seat, he also saw a second man. The second one was almost more suspicious looking, even more so than the shady drug dealer man. This second one had messed up hair, a trashy shirt, and while it was hard to see, my friend could almost make out a scar from a massive burn on the side of his neck on his face. He kept
Man, fuck that, dude. What I do is I grab my fucking shotgun and blow some fucking
I think I
dudes.
want to turn right at jumps.
Okay. Yeah, but what I do is I grab my shotgun and I'ma shoot me some people. Fuck. You gonna park in my driveway looking all fucked up? Mm-mm. You gonna get shot with my shotgun.
You don't have a shotgun.
Actually, I do.
Not here.
Fuck, I need to get mine. God damn it.
You won't be able to use it.
I have my hunting license.
There's nothing to hunt here.
Actually, there is if you go to the right place.
What place?
I don't know, my dad said that there's some places where he found fucking deer. And no, the deer were not fucking. Okay, sorry about that. We had something to do there. I still don't know why I'm doing this in pitch dark. That's why I have this lighting here. If I didn't say that before, I
The
don't
next
know.
person has 15,000. That's just fucking perfect.
I have like 356,000.
Shut up.
Okay.
You play this game every fucking minute of every fucking day.
You know what? That's because I'm trying to beat my girlfriends. I am on a fucking mission. Ow.
That was loud.
That fucking hurt my hand. Fuck, let's
Hurt
get
your
into
land?
this. It hurt my hand.
watching the two men until the second man began to look at the window more and more often. Eventually, he was just staring at the window my friend was watching them from. My friend decided that he'd had enough and was going to call the cops. He didn't care if he would get in trouble at this point. He moved away from the window and called the police, who told him to grab a weapon or something to defend himself and wait for the police. He had waited for about 5 minutes when he saw a figure quietly come out from his mom's room, who was still sleeping. The man shut the door behind him and noticed my friend had seen him. The figure sprinted towards my friend with what looked like a knife raised in his hand. My friend grabbed the pup from the nearby table and threw it at the figure. It hit him in the face and shattered. The figure screamed and fell off the floor. My friend turned on the lights and saw the second man with the burn rolling on the floor. His face was covered in blood and shards of glass were sticking out.
Shit.
His right eye had tons of blood pouring out. He must have been hit pretty hard. As the man began to slowly get up, my friend grabbed the knife and drove it into the man's shoulder. Another scream could be heard by the man. The man began to stumble over the front door when police sirens could be heard. Both men were caught on sight, but my friend's mom had been killed. Her throat had been slit, and she had 23 stab wounds, and duct tape covering her mouth. My friend was arrested too for drug possession, and his trial is coming up, but he lost his mom because of it, so I don't think he will be buying drugs from the deep web ever again.
You fucking think?
Number 2.
Man, that shit's fucked up. At least he knew to fucking defend himself. Even if the cops say to, yo ass best grab something to fight with. Shit. Fuck. How many are these? Fucking like 10? 3? And I'm on number 2? Fuck.
This story is 100% real. and is about an experience I had going on the deep web. For those of you who don't know, the deep web is pretty much the hidden internet. It isn't indexed by search engines, and you need special software to go on it.
Bro,
it is several thousand times bigger than the surface internet, which can be reached by Google, Yahoo, or Bing, etc. It is also home to many illegal things. You can buy stolen guns, any drugs you can imagine, stolen phones, you can even hire hitmen. Any illegal thing you can imagine is on the deep web. I never had a great childhood.
Okay.
My dad was gone all the time, and my mom was too. When she was home, it was normally verbal and physical abuse. I always needed to have a way to escape it all, whether it was playing video games, watching movies, or even drinking.
Porn.
One day, I was invited over to a friend's house for a sleepover. When I got there, he immediately told me he had something to show me. We went upstairs and he showed me his laptop. He said he had got onto the deep web. We stayed up till late at night, browsing through all the interesting things on it. He showed me how to use it, and I took some notes. The next day, I decided to try it out for myself. I downloaded the software and was good to go. When on the deep web, there's a page full of links. In order to go to sites, you keep clicking on the new links that pop up. At first, it was very boring. Tons of dead websites or disgusting ones filled with videos of real people getting killed. Eventually, I found a forum. I can't remember what it was about, but I asked how to get in interesting sites that were not illegal. One guy sent me a link and said it was a site that contained leaked government documents. I thought that was interesting, so I clicked on it. When I pulled up the page, I was pretty shocked. It was a whole bunch of videos of people getting tortured and murdered in the most horrible of ways. I have a pretty strong stomach, so I was ready to ignore it and just exit out, but I realized that all the videos were playing at once. When I moved the mouse over one, there was no bar that let you pause or stop it. That's when it hit me. These were all thousands of live streams. I clicked on one that said homeless man kidnapped in my basement. In it, a man was tied to a chair covered in blood. To his left was a table, and on it was a whole bunch of tools like axes, knives, drills, hammers, etc. And there was a hooded man standing by it. On the right of the live stream, there was a chat box, and people were requesting that the hooded man do various things like cut off the homeless man's hand, rip out his hair, etc. Eventually, one man in the chat boxes said that he would pay several Bitcoin for the hooded man to gouge out the homeless man's eyes. The hooded man agreed and grabbed what looked like a fork off the table and began to walk to the homeless man. I quickly closed the live stream, but I could still hear it. I tried to leave the site but was frozen, and I could only hear the horrible sounds coming from the stream. A few seconds later, the sound stopped, and the chat box appeared in the center of the screen. I couldn't exit out, but then in the box somebody typed in, "Hello, how did you like the site?" I paused for a moment, not sure if it was some kind of automated message. But then he typed again, "Are you going to answer?" I stayed frozen in place, but eventually typed in, "Who is this?" The guy explained that he was the owner of the site, and that he liked to greet first-time users whenever he could. I got a disgusted look on my face, and this is where things got really scary. In the chat box, the man typed, "It's rude to make faces, Jake." My eyes got wide, and I noticed my webcam was on, when I always kept it off. Also, how did this man know my name? I covered up the webcam with a sticky note and typed, "How do you know my name? I'm calling the police." There was a brief pause, and then horrifyingly a whole bunch of data was posted in the box. I looked at it, and realized that it was everything about me. My full name, email address, age. It even had all my parents' info as well. I panicked and shut off my computer, and hoped that it would be the end of that. I did a complete wipe of all of my computer's data, and went to get a drink.
Fuck
I
that.
panicked and shut off my computer, and hoped that it would be the end of that. I did a complete wipe of all my computer's data, and went to get a drink. I was under a lot of stress. That night, my mom said she wouldn't be home. She didn't say where she was, but at this point in my life, I didn't care. My dad, of course, was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up watching a movie. Eventually, I fell asleep on the couch. I don't know why, but at about 2:30 in the morning, I woke up. The TV was still on, and it gave off a dim light, but when I opened my eyes a little more, I almost screamed. There was a man standing just a few feet away from me with a mask on. I flew off the couch and darted for the door. I heard heavy footsteps coming after me. I flung open the door and ran outside, screaming as loud as I could, trying to get somebody's attention. I looked behind me and saw that the man was running, and that he was faster than me. I screamed louder and noticed I had tears running down my face. Then a bag wrapped around my head, and I was pushed to the ground with such a force that I felt blood in my mouth.
Fuck that. You kicked that dude right in the fucking dick. JB's Beast is looking at me like, why the fuck am I doing this bullshit to myself at this fucking late at night? Well, I am fucking stupid. I need to come up with my little thing. Because, you know, Dr. J and the Women, he has the clinic. When if you even go into his videos, you get herpes. The fuck should I have?
Go on with the video.
Okay. Fuck. Well, like I said, man, if you ever do that, just fucking kick everywhere. Kick and hit and just do everything.
I heard a car speed up beside me, and I was being dragged to the sound of it. They were taking me away, and I probably was going to be on that site. I had almost expected my death when the man in the mask screamed in pain and dropped me. I pulled the bag off my head and saw a van speed away, and I saw my neighbor hitting the masked man with a baseball bat. The police arrived and took the masked man in, eventually caught the van and shut down the site. My mom and I moved out, and I will never, ever go on the deep web again, and I encourage others to never go on it either.
Good idea,
Number
dude.
3.
Come on, last one. Let's see what you got.
I got his private message
That's a
early
camel.
yesterday morning. He saw my comment on his post and came to me for some guidance. He seemed troubled by how his warning had somehow turned into an advertisement for the shadow web. At first, I thought him delusional. There are dozens of message boards out there dedicated to the deep web, even a couple of subreddits right here on Reddit, and still, this fellow is acting like he's solely responsible for leaking the deep web. I assured him that people were just playing along like they always do on No Sleep, and he need not worry about it. Then he tried to correct me. He insisted that the shadow web is not the deep web, nor is it the dark web. It's something far more sinister. Way more fucked up, is what he said. Later in the evening, he gave me his phone number. He told me to send him a text if I wanted to be proven wrong, and with that, our volley of private messages ended. A quick reverse lookup showed that the area code was from a place called Valleyfield, Quebec. That's in Canada. It looked perfectly harmless, so I sent him a text. He replied in a couple of minutes. What he sent back was an MMS with pictures of a piece of paper, the one that the creepy customer had supposedly given him. The first thing I noticed about the slip was the font type. It looked as though it was printed directly from a notepad. I'm guessing that this person who gave him the slip had been carrying it around so that he could access the shadow web from public computers or cyber cafes. He probably had the steps memorized at one point and no longer needed it. The second thing I noticed was that the steps were in fact not for accessing the dark web, at least not the dark web I was familiar with. It took me about 45 minutes to locate the specific build of Netscape Navigator curiously required.
That is a Fallout picture. That's all I know. That's from fucking Fallout 4. That's nothing about deep web. No, that's fucking Fallout 4. That's how you access shit. Fuck. Yeah. That's all I know. That's from Fallout 4.
For getting into the shadow web gateway. I found a torrent for it on one of the deep web forums where I frequently lurk. It came with a Trojan horse, unsurprisingly, but I installed it anyway. Whoever tries to backdoor my machine would regret ever trying. At least I was connected to the fabled gateway, and to my surprise, I was wrong. This wasn't just the dark web or the deep web after all, and he had every reason to be worrying. Let me try to explain in layman's terms. If the deep web was the bad neighborhood in your town, the dark web would be its haunted house, that abandoned mansion at the end of that one-way road with no street lamps. The shadow web, then, would be the windowless cellar.
You know what? I actually had a house like that once around my neighborhood. Yeah, I'll tell you guys about that story time if this video gets 7 views. That's hard for a channel as big as me, with only fucking 15 around that area subscribers. So yeah, if this video gets 7 views, I will give you guys a story time about that. That was a fucked up night. But yeah, like, I used to live like that. There was a fucking big ass haunted house We all knew it was haunted. There was no doubt about it. Abandoned, all sorts of creepy and shit. Fuck. Still gives me the spooks, but yeah. Shit happens. Remember, 7 views on this fucking video. And y'all get some story times. Let's get into this.
At the end of the passage behind a hidden door in that very haunted house. Before I go on, I wanted to clear something up. When I left a comment on the original post I mentioned that I frequently visited the dark web, and somebody left a comment calling me a monster, I'm not. I don't go there to look for scam victims or to distribute kiddie porn. My line of work prohibits me from elaborating, so I'll leave the rest for your imagination. After stopping by a few of these sites, actually spending the whole day on the shadow web, I finally began to appreciate the gravity of this revelation. I'll spare you the details, but suffice to say, I have never been more convinced that cryptocurrencies should be outlawed. I came across one particular site called rumcake.sh.web, and from the first glance it resembled the one described in the man's post. Then I saw the site was merely one of dozens in a network of these torture room broadcasts. I called him back on the number he had messaged me on. I just wanted to tell him he was right about the shadow web, and that he did the right thing, and that the information which he had provided may end up saving lots of lives, but he didn't pick up. The more I looked into it, the more I realized that this wasn't something I could tackle on my own. I needed to tell my superior about this. Since it was almost 3 a.m., I hesitated to call her, yet I was too excited to let this wait until morning, so I sent her an IM, telling her about the big fish that I need to help her with reeling up. She immediately responded, call. The conversation that ensued was rather shocking. In short, our agency did know about the existence of a shadow web, but no leads have ever turned up on actually how to get in. Until now, that is. The post here on No Sleep has violated the shadow web's code of silence. On top of that, he was careless enough to use his regular Reddit account. There are some people who are probably very upset by his expose of the sh.web. From what I was told, his life is in danger. Being somewhat of a rookie at the organization, I've been advised to stay out of this investigation. My boss warned me I too might end up with a crosshair on my head if I didn't take proper measures to conceal myself. It's 5 a.m. now, and I still haven't heard back from him. I hope he's okay. One last thing before I log off. For those of you who tried going to the dark web or shadow web after seeing yesterday's post, I strongly recommend that you disconnect your microphone and cover up your webcams. Don't even charge your cell phones with the USB port. Most importantly, don't ever try connecting again. Hey, what is up, guys? I hope you really...
Well, yeah, so, that does it for this video, I guess. Like, shit. But yeah, if you guys liked it, please slap that like button. Comment down below. I'm actually going to be starting a fan page for my YouTube channel. Link or something for that will be in the description box down below. And yeah, if you're new here, please subscribe. And I'm Devil Hunter 02K here. I'm out this fucking bit. Fuck this scary shit, man. Yeah, I'm Devil Hunter 02K here. I'm out. Peace, y'all.